Okay, it's day 47 here at FBI headquarters. So the pair, Strokes, Peter Strokes, if that's his real name, Peter Strokes, and of course across the street we have Department of Justice. That's where you get a approval, or that's where you would prepare a FISA order if you wanted to do surveillance on someone. What the court down the street, 333 Constitution, what they said in a April 26th statement this year, and Judge Contreras, my judge, is on the three-member board. It's a rotating three-member board. What he said was the NSA has been guilty of falsifying information. Now, for those who don't know, at the NSA, there is equipment and infrastructure for most law enforcement, and then FBI has their own dedicated infrastructure. There is a place in Virginia, the Wiretap Center they call it, that handles all the national security wiretaps, and there's about 7,865 wiretaps in play right now. Anyway, I believe Judge Contreras was the lead judge saying, hey, this is bogus information. You're asking us, first of all, to make decisions on bogus information. Now, a three-judge board, plus they do something called slamming. Slamming is when you accumulate 40 or 50 FISA warrants all at once, and then you slam the judge late at night or right before he goes on vacation or right before the weekend. And you put the top one on there with this urgency, this urgent clip. Judge, this guy is going to leave the country. There may be a bomb at the Pentagon, whatever. And of course the judge is going to be focused on that. The other thing you can do is you can ring. If you want to go after Trump, you can have a third party like the Awans look at his patterns, look at his social graph, and then you can ring him with FISA warrants for everybody he communicates with or communicates with for the most period of time with using the social graph. That's why I'm suing Michael Hayden, because this is a popular technique of Michael Hayden. Using that ring strategy, he could go to Manafort, Gorka, Kushner, his daughter, his sons, all around him, basically, and you could get everything, probably 99% of his communications. Most people have a pretty steep curve. There's 10 or 12 people they communicate with for the most part, and then it falls off from there. And they're not going to say anything very important to the minor players anyway. That's what I believe was done in this case. I don't believe a FISA warrant was ever issued for Trump. I do believe that they used the PP dossier to do a stack on the social graph of Trump, 10 to 12, maybe 15 FISA warrants, and I believe that Peter Strokes, or Stroke, or Struck, or however you say his name, did that, and I believe Lisa Page is the person that prepares these documents. Now, the other thing they do is they wait and hold these documents, and they go ahead with the wiretap, and they keep releasing information to placing it with journalists, Fusion GPS. They use Fusion GPS under the color of journalism to hold the information, and then they leak it out slowly with text messages, a little bit of a leak here, a little bit of a leak there, different journalism outlets, so it's hard to trace. But make no mistake about it, it is a plan, a systematic wiretapping of the president, which no judge would ever approve. No judge looking at it and say, what is your intent here? A judge doesn't know the social graph of everyone around Trump. He can see that there's a couple of people that he recognizes, Donald Trump Jr., let's say. So they're probably going to do a ring strategy around Donald Trump Jr., for instance. I don't know. But what we do need to know is if Mr. Strokes is doing this kind of stuff, we need this to come to the light of day. If it's true that $1 million was paid over here by the Justice Department to a spy organization, a third-party, non-sworn spy organization and dossier collector like Fusion GPS, we need to know. If a total of $12 million was spent from this administration, from the Department of Justice to a spy organization with political leanings, we need to know. So there is calls in Congress right now to make that stuff available. I tell you, I've sat in Judge Contreras' courtroom a couple of times. I believe he's an advocate, a strong advocate for civil rights, a strong advocate for civil rights. I don't believe the system is rigged and fixed. I think the number of people that are doing this sort of thing are extremely few in number. It's the Peter Strokes, the Lisa Pages that get pressed into this, and a few people, just a few people in this building around Andrew McCabe.